Today, I'm going to show you how to build an outdoor fireplace that'll make all your friends jealous. Don't miss it. Hi, I'm Jake with Cornerstone.rocks, and this is my Barrington fireplace kit. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step on how to build it. It's easy, it's economical, and everyone can do it. So stick around and follow along. Check down the description if you have any questions along the way, and find out how you can get your hands on one. I know you're excited to get started on your fireplace build. We're excited too. We've got our foundation already set here. We did an entire video on how we did this exact foundation. It's completely level. It's the most important part to any hardscape build you have. Check out the video, but we've already done all the hard work. So let's get started. So most folks out there want to square their hardscape feature up to some object, whether it be a house or a patio of some sort. We've got our fence here, and we're close enough we could use a square of some sort and string line to get it to where we want it to be, but we're going to show you how to do it at any distance. All right, so what we want to do is pull off of our fence here, and we want to go 5 foot. So we're gonna take our tape measure, a non-stretching tape measure. This is a metal one, and we're gonna make an arc at 5 foot. Just gonna use a nail here. Try to do it both ways. Small arc here. We have a second point over here. We're gonna do the same exact thing. Small arc, and now we'll just pull a string line across the peak of our arcs. Ooh, first block, exciting. Just want to take a moment to go over the block you'll be using on your build. We have a standard rectangular block here, most of you are familiar with. Main thing I want to discuss are these 3 wedged units. We have small, medium, and large. Because they're wedged, we get 2 different lengths per block on the face, giving us 6 different sizes throughout the course of the project. Even though they're wedged, we're still able to do straight lines and corners, no problem. Let me show you how easy it is to make straight lines and corners out of these wedges. Our small unit and our medium unit each have a straight side.
All the wedges have the same angle. As long as you're alternating the wedges when laying, you can run a straight line for as long as you want.
Now we want to go through and double check, make sure everything is straight together. If you're off a 1/16 of an inch here, you'll be off an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch on down the line. Because they're wedged, they really lock together. Bang them into place really easy. Perfect. All right, so I've got my instructions here. You may have the downloaded version or the printed version, but what I'm gonna do, quick tip, is set them in the correct orientation to which you're doing your build. So I've got the front facing this way, the correct layout as if our front is facing this way. That way, if you're standing at a different 90-degree angle, you don't have to worry about which block is facing which way and get confused. It's just a quick reference guide for you to check back as you're moving along in the process. All right, here we are ready to get started laying block. We're gonna leave our string line intact so that we can lay the outside edge of our block right up to it and keep a good straight line.
It's definitely easiest to lay all your block in your base course before beginning to level. You're able to walk on these as you're laying, just be careful not to step too close to the edges.
All right, we've got our first course laid out. Now we're gonna move in and level each block and then run a level down the sides to make sure everything's good and square to each other. This is the most important course that you have. From here, everything moves up straight and in line.
I can't overemphasize how important it is to make sure everything is square and perfectly level. You can see just how meticulous I am when leveling, how tedious it can be sometimes. Leveling front to back, side to side, crossways. I lift up a block at one point, add a little bit of sand. We're really trying to reach perfection here on our base course. It is vitally important. Any imperfections that are left here are going to keep showing up on down the line during your build. It's best to take care of them right here, right now.
All right, we got the base course ready to go. It's all leveled and squared up. Now it's time to be grabbing and stacking. All right, we're rocking and rolling now. About 3 courses up. Really need to be sure to check and make sure everything is coming up nice and plumb as you come along here. All right, you may notice that we're actually not gluing this as we're building it. This is just a demo. In a normal circumstance, I would be gluing it, but we're just out here. I don't need a fireplace at my shop. So this is just for instructional purposes. Normally you'd be running 2 beads of glue on the top of each layer. And we're to the part where we have the hearth here. So what we would normally recommend doing is, if you look at the instructions, is run a bead of glue down the side of each piece and then on the bottom as well, because we really want to make sure this point is secure, because you have people that could be standing or sitting on this. So we really want to make sure it's extra safe. Take a quick moment here to show you guys something in particular. At this point in the build, we really want to make sure that these two little pieces are going to be stacked vertically instead of horizontally. The reason being is that when they're stacked horizontally, you get a little slide here and they may not set up right. Also, when installing these, we want to put a couple beads of glue along the wall here. That way you get good, structurally sound product. Nice and secure. All right, we're to the hot box here. Got some Firebrick going in. We need to start from the sides here, do the sides first, and you will have a gap right here. Ignore that gap. We want to stack the next one to it. And if you'll notice, the corners will overlap and we'll get a good seal here where that corner is irrelevant. It's time for another row of Firebrick.
I'm obviously not gluing these here because this is a demo. When you're installing your Firebrick, it's best that you glue brick to brick, just a small amount of glue there.
Cut piece will go here.
You also want to glue the back side of the Firebrick to the firebox.
See, Firebrick, that wasn't too tough. Let's just keep on building. All right, now we're ready to install our lintel. This is probably the most difficult step to install in your fireplace, but don't worry, it's super simple. I'm gonna walk you through it step by step.
You're gonna wanna find your lintel block in your kit. All it is just a small block with the end cut off. Be sure to glue the sides of these lintel blocks to the firebox. When gluing your angle iron to the tops of your lintel blocks, be sure to center it. If your angle iron doesn't set flush, use coins or washers as shims. If you built it correctly, nothing should be over 1/8 of an inch out here.
All right, we've got our lintel. It's set and ready. What you want to make sure to double check is that you lay your 4-foot level across from block to block, and you get down below here and you're looking underneath the bottom of the level and to the top of the lintel shelf to make sure there's no gaps at all. That way you're really checking your level.
We're stacking the first course of block on top of the lintel. Everything should hold itself up besides the middle tube block. Since we're spanning an opening, the middle tube block want to fall out until we have more weight on top. So we build a column of block just to catch the front edge of those middle tube block. By only catching the front edge of these blocks, it's much easier to knock out later. The first course of the smoke chamber is essentially the second foundation for the rest of your build. Be sure everything is straight and square, especially around the lintel, before we continue on.
All you want to do here is just slide this top Firebrick back away just far enough to miss the lintel. Remember, we had this void back here in the corner, so that's okay that this is offset from this down here. So once you slide that back a little bit, we'll just take our last cut fire brick and just slide that baby right into place. It's like a glove.
As hard as we try, unfortunately, we cannot make every block perfect. Sometimes you'll find that one block is a slight bit thicker than the other block. Most of the time, you can just replace the odd block with another block from a different pallet. But sometimes, we might have to use a grinder to iron out this problem. You probably won't need it, and you definitely don't want to rely on it. This was our only time using it throughout the entire build. If you find yourself relying on the grinder, we've got bigger issues. More than likely, you've just got some debris in between your blocks, and you need to be cleaning them off properly as you build. Sometimes you're just gluing unevenly. I would say that's not a bad thing, because in some instances, you can use more or less glue to make up small differences. And never underestimate the power of the hammer. Sometimes you can just knock it right into place.
All right, we're to the next tricky point here in our build. We're to the point where we're gonna start racking in our sides or stepping in our sides. So what you wanna do is build this back row first, and then we'll center it from there. All right, now we're to the point where we wanna center this. We've got our back row built. It's plumb with the back wall. So I've got a little trick to show you to center it. You can use a tape measure, but with the tumbled corners here of the block, sometimes they're rounded and it's hard to really get an accurate measurement. So my trick is that I like to take my finger and then use my thumb and lock it into place to get that distance. Really hold that thumb there against the finger. Then we'll come to the other side. We'll do the exact same thing with the other hand. Lock that thumb into place. And then we'll check our measurement here. Oh look, we got a little gap here. So what we want to do is just kind of hammer it over about half that distance and recheck. Looks to be good. If you're off a 1/16 of an inch, nobody's gonna notice. All right, now that this is set and centered, we're just gonna square off of this and keep our lines running. All right, we've got this run done, this row done. We've got these corner pieces in, but to slide these two middle pieces back in place, we need to counterbalance that weight so that they don't fall off the backside here. So what we want to do is grab a couple extra blocks. We got an 8" and a 4". We'll slide these back in. We'll balance that weight there. Keeps everything intact. And then now's a good time to set and let your glue set up for a while, and that way it locks in everything in place. Once you come back for the next step, we'll remove these and the glue should hold it temporarily, but we need to quickly go ahead and stack the next layer, and the weight of that will lock everything in and hold everything into place.
By now you should be an expert at laying these blocks square and leveling them up. Just keep checking on every course and making sure everything is perfect.
All right, we're done with the smoke chamber. Now we're ready to get started on the chimney. It's all downhill from here. Or wait a minute, uphill. All right, we've got the chimney coming up. What we really want to be careful with and constantly checking is to make sure that we're plumb vertically. And then also taking your 4-foot level and running it crossways on each side to make sure we're not getting any twisting at all as we're coming up. We've got the chimney up, now we're ready to put our caps on, and a couple tips here. You don't want to glue too close to the edge because as you put these things on, you might have to slide them left or right a little bit to get them exactly how you want them. Also, if there is a chip corner or something that's a little bit more rustic look or broken off, move that to the inside. That way nobody will see it. So just for example, this capstone has a big broken piece out of it. So all I want to do is flip that to the center. Also, we can use our finger trick here to double check our overhang. Most people are going to be viewing this from the ground unless they're up on a second story of a building or something, or a house. So turn the better looking side downward. We saved the lightest piece for last, the chimney cap. Depending on which one you've ordered with your kit, follow the instructions, slide it into place, secure it down, and it's as easy as that. You got your foundation finished, you hammered, you leveled, you handled hundreds of blocks, you followed my tips, you followed the instructions to a T, and now you get this.
Say?
Nope.
All right, let's practice anyway.
All right. Good, I'm just faking anyway. It's already good. Hi, Jake, Cornerstone.rocks. Barrington Fireplace kit, cheaper by the dozen. Give me a call. I'll cut you a special deal.